Well, we are just getting started with today's project on this truck. The first thing we're going to start with is we're going to get the angle irons mounted down to the truck frame so that we can weld this lower mount of the hoist to the angles that are going to be bolted on the frame. I've got the frame marked on both sides. We just need to drill 3 holes on this side of the frame and the other side of the frame. And we'll bolt these angle irons to it, and then we can weld down the lower mount. Now, if you recall in the last video, we ended up getting this tail hinge area finished up. We ended up putting a bumper on there. And along with the bumper, we put a couple of D-rings on there, so if he gets this truck stuck, he can hook on to either one of them D-rings to pull it out. We also went ahead and put a wagon style hitch on here just so he could tow wagons around if he needs to, hay wagons and whatever like that. Now we also have a bunch of holes drilled in this flat panel here. We're going to mount the trailer wire harness, or not really the trailer wire harness, but the body wire harness will plug into a 7-way or a 6-way plug there. And then we've got 4 half-inch ports, 4 different valves that we're going to use for a manure tank, and then the 2 large 1-inch ports that will be supplying oil to the hydraulic motor on the manure tank. Now this is just in preparations of getting this truck ready for if and when he wants to use his Husky manure tank on it. So we'll get the hoist mounted down, and then what we'll do is we'll move to this part of the frame here where we are going to make the bracket that's going to hold the hydraulic valve. So let's get these holes drilled, get these lower mounts welded down, and then we'll move into making that bracket up so we can set the hydraulic valve on there. Sarah's went ahead and she has got the air lines. She's got 4 pairs of them that are going to come down from this side and hook into the valve bodies. And then she's got to make up 4 more. I think it's 4 more. Yeah, 4 more for the other side. We're coming down out of the top of the cab here, and we didn't want to have, you know, if we would have had 8 pairs of hoses, it would have been about hose mat about this big around. So we're splitting it up, coming down through the corner posts of the cab, down in through the floorboard and back, and then we'll do the same with the other side. We'll go through the headliner, down the right-hand corner post, down along the floorboard, or the top of the frame, and over to this side, and we'll show you that once we get a little farther along here. So we need to get our holes drilled, get some welding done, and then we can move into making our bracket for our hydraulic valve. Now we'll end up taking these lights off, and so that we can paint this, and then once it's painted we can hook up our hydraulic ports and our wire harness there, or our plug. So let's get some stuff done here, get some holes drilled and so on here. Well, this is going to be a little hard to do this clip. We got a lot of noise going on over in the other shop, but we need to give you a little bit of an update. We've got the hoist mounted down, and we ended up putting a toolbox back on this truck that was on there prior to my uncle bringing it over here, and he's got straps and stuff in there, and I figured that it would be best if we got it back on there. Sarah's working on getting the air lines put in for the air controls. We're going to put them up in the headliner. She's going down through the passenger side with half of the hoses, and then the other half of them are going to be coming down through this driver's side. So we need to get over and help Jered put the engine in, the 8320, and we'll kind of show you what all this noise is about over here. They are scaling some rust off of this Diller tanker here with the needle scalers, and we're gonna just coat it with POR from this bottom portion here, from here down. So Jered is getting this engine set in there. He's ready to have some assistance, so we're gonna put you guys up and we're gonna very carefully set that down in. That's sitting in there now. The other thing that's making noise in here, we were using a bin exhaust fan, or a bin fan, to push fresh air into that tank, because we've got to get in it in a while. So we'll let him get this stuff hooked up. He's got to get the cooling package on there, get the engine itself bolted down, and maybe by the end of the day he'll be able to get this started up and running, hopefully, here. So we're going to go back over next door and build this valve body bracket, and then we can start hooking up air control lines. Well, we have gotten rid of some of the noise here in the shop. We're going to show you what they're doing outside here in a minute. But Sarah has got, she's not done up in the cab yet, but you want to show them the manifold you built? So we've got this air manifold here, and we're going to use that to supply the air to the different functions that are going to be up in the cab. We have a hoist, tailgate function, tailgate locks, and then what we'll do is we'll use the tailgate function to run one of the functions on the spreader tanker. And there is 6, am I counting them right? There's 6 functions altogether that we need air controls for on the manure tanker itself. And then we've got 8 here all together. The 7th one, other than the tailgate locks, is for the winch. What I've done in the past, I have put ball valves in to run hydraulic oil up to the winch, which is going to be mounted right here. And what we would do is just turn the winch on when you want to use it, and the oil supply that comes back into one of these ports that we're going to have on the back of the truck, you'd turn the winch on, use the winch when you need it, and then when you're done using the winch, turn the ball valves off and utilize things that way. But I have it's just a pain in the butt. The ball valves that we use, which I'll show you what they look like. They're actually a high pressure ball valve. Where do I have them here? They're a high pressure ball valve right here. It's actually it's just about as expensive to put this ball valve, these two ball valves on there, as it is to just put an additional valve on there, and you can just run things that way. This ball valve here is low pressure. You cannot run hydraulic pressure through, high pressure that is, through this style ball valve. But this ball valve, on the other hand, this is good for like, I don't know, 4,000. I don't even know if it says it on here. It's good for, I can't read it, 7,250 PSI. So that'll withstand a major amount of pressure. So it looks like Nate's carrying oil buckets back and forth. Jered must be getting ready to, well, they're putting oil in that tractor. We'll run outside and we'll show you what Jason's working on. And we got this guy back here. This is Nate Lukens. And he worked for us before. He took a short leave of absence. It wasn't too long. But he's back and we're glad to have him back here. So he worked all day on running the needle scaler. Are your ears still ringing? Are your hands vibrating? Yeah. So why don't we run outside here and we'll take a peek with Jason, see how he's doing. He's washing this tanker off. And Jered's got, well, he's not sure what he's going to do with this Freightliner, but I don't know if he's got it sold or what, but the rear differential's got a problem. So Jason's just running around it with a pressure washer now. He needs to spray this down with some acid, get that doing its thing, and then they can mask this off, POR this bottom portion here. To be honest with you, this tanker here is a 2012. It's going to be 12 years old here in, I want to say like June. We thought it was in worse condition than it is actually in, and it's actually pretty good. Usually a manure tank, if you get 10 years out of it, you're lucky. Now, this has the fenders on it, and the fenders kind of, well, it kind of made it so that the tires just kind of kept all the debris right in on the tank. Now we bought a new set of fenders, or Jered bought a new set of fenders for it. They're going to be putting them on here by the end of the week. However, what it should have is them plastic fenders that just go over each tire. That would keep the garbage down lower, and it wouldn't let it travel up into the rest of the chassis and the tank. So hindsight 2020, if we had a chance to do this over again, we would not have bought the actual fenders that would have went on here. We would have bought them, I don't know, I think they're called like minimizer fenders or something like that to put on there, the ones that just go over each tire, and that would keep the debris more down on the ground. But they've got that cleaned up pretty well, and actually, you know, it looks really good. I mean, it doesn't look too good now, but once they get that all done up the way we need it, we would, if it was earlier on in the winter here, you can keep going, Jay. If it was earlier on in the winter here, we would paint the whole trailer, but we're just going to paint from where the fenders are going to be covering everything up, and you know, do things that way. So it would be nice to have a sandblaster, but I do not have one of them. You gonna try it? Well, Jered's got everything all hooked up here. He just ended up charging the fuel tank with some air. Try to get the system purged, get some fuel into it here. And this is the first that it's actually turned over. So we got to get things charged with fuel. And, oh, there it goes. Today is Jered's birthday. He is 25 years old. And this is a good birthday present. Wow. What do you think, bud? What do you think, bud? Got this one behind you now. He's really excited. Really excited. Sounds a lot better. Well, happy birthday, right? What do you think, bud? Huh? Yeah. Sounds a lot better now. Boy, it was, what was it? February. It was the farm show. The day of the farm show, wasn't it? Like February 20th? Well, I'll have to look up the dates, but it was the Syracuse Farm Show. We started this that morning before me and Andrew went to the farm show, and the frickin' thing pinged and knocked, and I'm like, oh my God. So it's been a month. He's been waiting for the parts to come back from, or the, what'd you have done? Reeves did what?
He did rod bookings. The rod bookings were really out of place. They were all like they had never been replaced. He didn't think we would have ran for $2,000 or $3,000.
So, we had a machine shop in Casanova. What'd they do? They did the he did the connecting rods, and then advised you to replace the pistons for whatever reason. And they are on the floor.
Some of them were stored in the actual store. They were
yeah.
This one you can see it. It's right there. You see that copper? It's like they had spun in the skirt without having any lubrication, which they're not even supposed to spin in the skirt, but that's what seemed to have happened right there. Not all of them were like that, but I wanted to get just, I think there's only 2 or 3 of them that are like this, and I wanted to make this real quick, and John Deere will sell it for you without the liner here.
give her, crank her up some. By the time you guys see this video, Olight will be having a sale on just a generic sale, and you'll have to check them out. But these are great flashlights, by the way. I use these all the time. I use this Seeker 3, and then I also have this Baton. I don't even know what this is, a Baton 2 or a Baton 3. I clipped this to my hat. So check out Olight. If you click on the link in the description, you'll be able to find out what they have for a sale coming up. And if you use Andy FFF in the discount code box, you'll be able to get 10% off anything that you don't, anything that's not in the actual sale itself. So running rather nicely here.
All right, it's ran
for. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and unhook the batteries, and he can sleep tonight now. We weren't gonna start this until morning, but he got this all
transmission isn't hooked up yet, but
all put together. So you don't have the coupler hooked up, the tranny?
no.
Now, you had that last time we started this. He had everything hooked up all the way back through. Had a knock. You guys all heard the freaking knock. And we didn't know, maybe it could have been a transmission pump or something. So this drive coupler right here, he unbolted it the following morning, and you know, the knock didn't make a difference. So
It's kind of
he has to hook that up, and then
it's kind of weird to hear one of these tractors without one, because it doesn't, you know, like that 8120 clatter. Like if you go out and start that 8120, it sounds like it clatters a lot. It must be that tranny really puts a lot of harmonic tension on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this thing is very quiet on an idle.
Yeah.
Usually they're not. Usually they're a little more, I don't know, a little more tinny sounding, a little flatter.
Yeah. So we're gonna close out this video here. We'll be able to, Jered will be able to sleep tonight. What he did is he ended up charging, put a lot of air into the fuel tank to push the fuel through the system, and it took a little bit to get going, but it didn't take that much. It filled the filters with fuel, and yeah, just pushed as much fuel as he could get to it. And yeah, we're not gonna, we've got a brand new hood for this. That hood was like $5 grand that we bought for it last year. These hoods on all of the 8000 series, they're in, there's, I don't know, what is there, 2 pieces, or it's a 2-piece hood or a 3-piece? Yeah, this piece here is separate, but
You can't just buy
it cracks. They all crack right here. And the last one was so damn bad, we don't even know how it stayed on the tractor. It's actually out in behind the building here. We can actually walk outside and look at that quick. But we're not going to put the hood on this right away. We're not overly confident in what we got going on. He's gonna put this on a manure pump tomorrow and run it hard, push it, get everything broken, check everything over, make sure we don't have any coolant leaks or just goofy things that happen with this kind of stuff. And then we can put the hood on. We've got to load the hood with the grill, the lights, all that stuff. He ended up doing a bunch of work to the interior here. The floor had some rot in it, and he put a metal plate on the floor, and then there was a viewer that sent a case of Rust-Oleum paint with a spray paint can sprayer thing. He used that on the floor of this tractor, got the interior back together, cleaned the headliner, put a new radio in it. Andrew was merging hay. He broke a window in the 8120, and we took the back window out of this tractor to put in the 8120 for Andrew's merging tractor, and then the new window that ended up going in the back of this cab. This tractor has got how many hours on it?
I think it's got 16 or 17,000.
Now these tractors, they only have a 4-digit hour meter. So
Oh wow,
it's got 7893. It's got 17,893 hours on it. When these tachometers, they don't have 5 digits. Well, they have 5 digits with the tenths, but you would think this day and age that these hour meters would have 5 digits in them, and if they had 5 digits, it would actually be showing 17,893. 17,893. Now, this tractor has went long enough. 17,000 hours is quite a few hours, but the 7720 went over 22,000 hours. And oddly enough, Jake called me today. They just got the 7720 done. We didn't have time. We ended up having a reman engine put in the 7720. So this will be nice. We'll be able to put these two tractors side by side, and we can compare a rebuild to John Deere's rebuild. The reman's not going to last as long, but it is what it is. So had we not had this problem with this tractor, we would have, Jered would have rebuilt the 7720 ourselves, but we got too many things going on. We got that tractor, that tanker, the next tanker that's coming in, and so on. We've jaw jacked long enough. So we're going to catch you at the next video. I want to thank everybody for watching. And Big Brother's going to be able to sleep tonight, right? That brought a tear to his eye a little bit, I think. Seeing that thing start up, he breathed a big sigh of relief when that come to life there and we didn't have a knock noise. We didn't let this run more than 10 seconds. It never ran more than 10 seconds the last time around. We didn't know what the heck it was doing. We didn't want a frickin' window to be formed in the side of the block. And earlier on, when we had run this, after it was knocking, I said, you know, it could be just a fuel knock. Maybe we need to let it run and let it run out of its system. You had the injectors gone through again, correct? Yeah. So we really don't know. There was a combination of, what was it?
They didn't have to do anything with the injectors.
The injectors were fine. They tested them. But you don't know. They tested them. They might have figured out, oh my God, this is no good. And who touched these last? They knew who did them. And you don't know, we don't know. So that's gonna do it, folks. We jaw jacked long enough. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you at the next one.